On today's episode of The Search for the Sun, we're powder coating the polling platform in a grab rail. We're gonna do this in stone black. As we sit here, I've already blasted this with 120 grit, stainless steel grit, and then I went over it with this guy. Okay, see how it's, oh, look, smushy. That's how you can sand round tube. We use what's called an interface pad, okay? And you get smushiness, and you don't make flat spots on the tube. It conforms to the tube, and you can sand round tube with this. Took maybe a minute or two to do both of these. I do that to make sure there's no media stuck on the surface and just to smoothen it up. You got a real rough surface, it's easy for dirt to stay on there. If you've got a somewhat smooth surface, but it has a little roughness to it, it's a lot easier to get the dirt off of it. So that's where we're at. We're gonna put this in the oven and heat it up. We're gonna wanna do this hot. I primarily spray everything hot, just a second. We're gonna do this hot, and then we're definitely gonna double coat it. It's a marine item. And we'll show you what it looks like, and we'll show you the whole process. We're gonna show you the whole thing. Well, except for the blasting and the sanding. We're not gonna show you that, we're just gonna talk about it. All right? All right, well, that'll do it. We'll come back when we got her hot. All right, we got them all hot now. And we got some plugs to put in down here. There's some threaded holes where the deck bolts on. And they're rid enough, I don't want to get stuff in them. They'll spin if you jam the threads up and you try to force it in there. The rib nut will spin, and then now the guy's got a drill on it. No, we're not done. All right, we'll hook up the old ground. All right, and we'll commence the whacking. All right, so what we want to do first, we want to put a light hat on. Light hat staying, we're about out of battery. We're just going to cut the areas where it ain't going to want to do it. I mean, it's not necessarily not going to want to do it, but we are way up. I filled the bucket up and I got a little bit too much material. Tell you something about hoppers. The lower the hopper is, the more lift air you're gonna need. So basically what I'm saying is if you start with a full hopper and you start spraying something and the hopper, depletes and gets down halfway and then left, you're gonna have to start raising the air to get the same powder cloud. And the reason that is because you are lifting it further. You got to think if there's 6 or 8 inches of powder in the bucket, it only has to lift it up 4 or 5 inches. But if there's only an inch or 2 of powder in the bucket, it may have to lift it up 7 inches to get it out of there. So that's why your airflow will change over the volume of the hopper, let's call it. That's just a tasty tidbit I thought I would throw in there. That's normal. That happens to everybody. Everybody. I don't think the box feeders do that. I don't use box feeders. They're not conducive to my habitat and powder coating. I'm just saying, you gonna stick the same dirty dick in all your powder? No, come on. That's the quickest way to have white dots in your black and black. Nah, I don't like it. I change colors like underwear here, and I don't have cross-contamination problems. Knock on some wood somewhere, Jesus. But I generally just don't have those problems. I think a lot of it's because of the hopper. I'm not, we're not putting the same pickup, they call it a pickup dick. So, and if you don't clean it, it's dirty, right? And they call it a dick. You're putting a dirty dick in there. That's just all there is to it. It sounds funny, but that's just what it is. You got to make sure you clean it. It has air stones on the end of it. How do you clean powder out of an air stone? I was just like, nah, I think I'm going to pass on that. Nordstrom makes them. They make box feeders that turn the thing in a 45-degree angle. And no, I don't really like that. But everybody has, their own thing that they like, If it works for you, then by all means use it. There's a lot of companies out there that only spray a couple of colors. Well, that's the case. I mean, it's a lot easier, but I could be spraying, 2 or 3 different colors in a day. I mean, what am I going to do? I got to be able to. And the nice thing about this is this makes it quick and convenient to change. I could change colors in this system in 10 minutes, and I'm in another color, which is kind of what you want. I don't know why I'm talking about hoppers, but that's what we're talking about. We're just putting a little quick coat on here while she's warm. Then what we're going to do is we're going to soak it back in the oven just for a few minutes. I'll probably go back in for 3 or 4 minutes, just enough to melt and flow the material out. And then we look it over and see if we need to sand or touch anything. That's the time when you go around and head it. And I'm not saying just touch all over it, because it's not the best thing to do when you get on a finished surface like this in between coats. I don't really like touching it unless I have to. But if you have to touch it, just wash your hands and make sure your hand don't have no weird oil on it. And I'll tell you another thing that's worth mentioning is the soap that you use in your shop may or may not cause problems. Just let me tell you this little thing. So I had this issue where my guys would powder coat something, you could see a freaking handprint on it. I mean, almost like a whole handprint. I'm like, how's that happening? And I was asking them, are you? So what I wind up, after doing a little bit of inquisitive research and asking my guys what they were doing and that type of thing, I wind up coming to the conclusion that it was the cherry Gojo. I could wash my hands with a regular soap, pick it, Irish Spring, whatever, and touch a part and not have any issues. You wash your hand with cherry Gojo, you touch a part, and it'll show the whole damn handprint. And it's like a low spot. It's like it lowers the surface tension of the powder. It does almost the same thing that oil does, which makes me think that has some kind of oil in it, lemon oil, something. I don't know if it's lemon, but I don't know why I said that. But some kind of oil's in there, I think. If you can see the handprint like nobody's business. I went to Walmart and I think I bought 3 or 4 or 5 gallons of the shit. I had to go around my whole shop and find every bottle of it and get it out. I took it to my other shop at my house. I do mechanic work there. And on my own stuff. I don't do mechanic work for money. I do mechanic work to save money. But I took it there and used it there because I was like, I got to get this out of my shop. This is killing me. I bet I stripped $1,500 worth of stuff because of that. I mean, you can't have a handprint. Everybody knows what a handprint is. That ain't supposed to be there. So, it sucks. All right, well, I didn't talk about spraying this at all. We might have to just time warp this shit. And then, you know how I am about my plugs. I don't like to bake them. It's not that I don't like to bake the plugs. I don't give a shit about the plug. I always say that, but I just don't want a flashing. When you let the powder ramp up on the plug and cure it, and then you pull the plug out after it's cured, you have a flashing that ramps up on your hole. Who wants that? That's poop. All right. We are going to put this in the oven for a short time, and then we're going to let it cool. We'll come back and spray it, put another coat on it, and we'll show you what that looks like as we're doing it. So we might have to do a little sanding on these. Some of this aluminum's dinged up here and there, got little dingers on it. But that's the time to do it. It's one of the reasons why I like the double coat process, because it gives you a chance to look at it and then you say, oh, that sucks. And then you can sand on it, you can do what you got to do, and then when you recoat it, it's way better than it was the first one. I mean, you can't fill in low spots, but you can minimize them. That thing's so hot, I got to get a glove to move it. All right, good stuff. We'll see you guys here in a minute after we get this thing baked out and cool. Well, I got to bake it out. We're just going to About 3 minutes. All right, we got the couple little places sanded that I didn't like. You know, there's one there. Not much, but nothing on that. Everything was good. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and spray this. I'm going to try to do camera in hand again, like we've done in the past. And try not to powder coat the camera if I can. All right, start up here. So really what you're trying to do is cover that shiny. See that shiny? You shouldn't see it when you're done. What in the hell was that? Damn spittle. That was weird. Oh, you know what? My biggest fan is on over there. See it over there? Bam. Freaking powder coating in a hurricane over here. That's what the problem was. I knew something was like a little off. I gotta try to keep the camera. It's hard to, I can't powder coat watching the camera. So I gotta try to keep the camera where the gun is at. It's not easy to do. I mean, I'm partially retarded, so that's most of it. Oh, I'm doing it again. See? I just get dirt and just walk over here and I'm not paying attention with the camera. All right. As you can see, the light that you guys are seeing is coming off my head. That's the headlamp that I'm wearing. This damn thing is stuck. All right. The headlamp that's on my head is making the light. I'm trying to do better with the camera. I gotta be conscious of this. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time though, so how am I gonna pull this off? All right. You see how we're just covering up the shiny? That's all you're doing on the second coat. Everybody, a lot of people in powder coating are scared of the second coat. I don't know why. I mean, oh, you don't have problems with the second coat? I'm like, no, it comes out better in the second coat than it does in the first. And people look at me like I'm from Mars. And I'm clearly from Venus. I mean, I don't understand these people. I have to spray this in such a weird, goofy way to keep the hose from whacking the part, because I can't control the hose with my other hand. That smacking you keep hearing is me knocking the residual powder off of the tip. You got that spittle that first time, and I know life is. All right, good stuff. I think we got it. So you get the idea, right? That's what we're doing. I'm going to do that other piece over there, the thing, shut the camera off, and then we'll turn it back on, show you what it looks like when it's done.